Imagine turning a job meant to support military families into a multi-million-dollar heist. Jeanette Mello did just that, swiping over millions right under the Army's nose. How did she live the high life on stolen cash? And what happens when the law catches up? Hey y'all! Welcome back to Stir the Tea. We're here with a story that's got more twists and turns than a back road in the Deep South. It's about Jeanette Yamanaka Mello, a civilian employee of the Army, found herself in the middle of a storm no weather forecast could have predicted. This lady is accused of pulling off a heist, not with guns and masks, but with something far more powerful: paperwork and a computer. Yep, you heard me right. Jeanette allegedly swiped more than $100 million from the Army. And get this, when the IRS started sniffing around, she didn't get fired. She was allowed to retire with all her benefits intact. Now, if that ain't a plot twist, I don't know what is. Let's break it down a bit, shall we? Unlike those hustling in the private sector who would have been shown the door faster than you can say fraud, Mello was snug as a bug under the protection of the bureaucratic blanket she worked for. According to the big shots at the Army's Installation Management Command, she just up and retired amidst the investigation that led to federal charges against her. And because of federal law, they say their hands were tied. There wasn't a darn thing they could do to stop her from grabbing her retirement and sauntering off into the sunset. Now, Jeanette is facing some serious music with 5 counts of mail fraud, 4 counts of wiring criminally obtained money, and 1 count of aggravated identity theft. Authorities say she was crafty, exploiting those loose controls at the command to funnel $103 million to her own company instead of the educational program it was meant for. Talk about making it rain. But on her own parade. But here's the kicker, folks. The case shines light on a problem that's no stranger to those in government service: the difficulty of firing U.S. civil service employees, even when they're caught red-handed. It's like trying to nail jelly to a wall. With due process protections and a maze of red tape, even a criminal conviction doesn't guarantee that the government can stop those retirement checks from rolling out. Social media has been buzzing like a beehive, with folks chattering about Mello's case. Some are sharing stories that sound more like tall tales than truth, about how the government will go to great lengths over a measly $5, then shell out $1,000 to get it back. It's the kind of irony that makes you chuckle if it wasn't so doggone frustrating. Jeanette Yamanaka Mello wasn't just any employee at Joint Base San Antonio, Fort Sam, Houston. She held a significant position as a finance manager. Now, this wasn't a small-time gig. She was pulling in an annual salary of $130,000. That's a hefty paycheck. Reflecting the level of trust and responsibility placed on her shoulders, her primary duty involved overseeing the financial aspects of the 4-H Military Partnership Grant Program. This program is a gem, y'all. It's designed to enrich the lives of kids from military families by giving them opportunities to engage in agriculture, health, science, and leadership projects. We're talking about hands-on learning that prepares these young minds for the future, fostering a sense of community and resilience among children who face the unique challenges of military life. But here's where the plot thickens. According to the federal authorities, Jeanette saw an opportunity within this noble endeavor to enrich herself. They allege that she set up a shell company, which she cleverly named Child Health and Youth Lifelong Development, or CHYLD for short. On paper, Child claimed to be a provider of these critical 4-H services to military personnel and their families. It was supposed to be an extension of the program's reach, a means to further support these kids in their educational and personal development. However, the reality as painted by the authorities was far from this noble facade. Child, they say, was nothing more than a front, a sophisticated veil designed to siphon funds from the 4-H program into Jeanette's pockets. Instead of supporting the growth and development of military children, the funds that were meant to enrich their lives were allegedly being diverted. This wasn't just a breach of trust. It was a direct assault on the values and goals of the 4-H program, and more broadly, on the welfare of the children it aimed to serve. Every dollar taken was a dollar that could have been invested in a child's future, be it through learning how to grow their own food, understanding the science behind it, developing leadership skills, or simply building the confidence to face the world ahead. The 4-H Military Partnership Grant Program represents a lifeline for many families, offering a sense of normalcy and opportunity amidst the upheaval of military life. Over the span of 7 whole years, Jeanette wasn't just sitting pretty. She was living a life that most folks can only dream about or see on the big screen. Let's break it down, piece by piece, and paint a picture of this high-flying lifestyle. First up, we're talking about globe-trotting vacations. Imagine jet-setting from one exotic locale to another, sipping cocktails on sun-drenched beaches, exploring ancient ruins, and snapping selfies in front of the Eiffel Tower or the Great Wall of China. Jeanette was not just taking trips, she was embarking on adventures that spanned the globe, all on a tab that was supposedly for educating military kids. It's like she had the world as her playground, hopping from one country to another with the ease of flipping through the pages of a travel magazine. We saw her in Dining Place, and we ain't talking about your run-of-the-mill diner spots. Jeanette was frequenting high-end restaurants where the plates are small, but the flavors are big and the prices are even bigger. Jeanette wasn't just eating and traveling in style, she was also dressing the part. We're talking designer duds, the kind of clothes and accessories that come with names you might need to practice pronouncing. Gucci, Prada, Louis Vuitton, you name it, she probably had it. Her wardrobe was filled with the latest fashion, turning sidewalks into runways and making every outing an opportunity to showcase her high-end taste. Let's not forget about her collection of vintage and high-performance cars and motorcycles. Imagine cruising down the highway in a sleek, classic car that turns heads, or revving the engine of a motorcycle that's as fast as it is furious. She also invested in real estate, snapping up luxury condos, the kind that offer breathtaking views, top-notch amenities, and privacy for the elite. But every story has its defenders, and Jeanette's lawyer, Albert Flores, is standing by his client. He argues that Jeanette earned her retirement benefits fair and square. Having served the government for years, he's trying to separate her work history from the accusations at hand, saying one doesn't relate to the other. And while Jeanette's pleaded not guilty, her lawyer hints that a resolution might be on the horizon, with a significant chunk of the assets potentially being returned to Uncle Sam. They're talking real estate, cash, vehicles, you name it. They're even selling some cattle, fewer than 100 head, to help pay back the government. And as if the criminal case wasn't enough, federal prosecutors are also going after some of Janet's assets through forfeiture lawsuits. This means they're trying to take back what was gained through illegal means, adding another layer to this complex saga. So what do you think? Is this a case of a system too rigid to adapt to wrongdoing? Or is it a wake-up call for tighter controls and clearer consequences for those who step out of line? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this conversation is far from over. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and keep that tea hot.